Do you want to start a YouTube channel? Do you want to use the best video editing software out there for free? Are you like 1 out of 12 men or 1 out of 200 women who see 21 in this figure? Are you lazy? Do you lack a sense of aesthetics? I can check off all these boxes, and I use the excellent Davinci Resolve in combination with PerfectColor to get perfect coloring. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can do it too. Action! So I made some simple test videos, and I opened up Davinci Resolve and drag them into the media. And next I put them in the timeline. You might know that Davinci Resolve already contains a color correction tool using color checker. So why not use this functionality directly? So in Davinci Resolve, all of the color checkers that are available are quite costly, and it does not have support for my clone color checker. So that was the starting point for making PerfectColor. And next, the built-in color correction tool in Davinci Resolve is quite manual and tedious. Next, the PerfectColor tool will generate LUTs that can be reused time after time if the lighting is the same with every take, like you would have in a home studio, for instance. So I can briefly show you how to do color correction in Davinci Resolve. So you start up by going to Color Tool, and then you select which clip you have that contains the color checker. So for my setup, I have this at least. And what I do next is I go down here to the color checker tool, and I choose which color checker I have. So I have 7 or 8 different types of color checkers, and the X-Rite Color Checker Classic is the classic color checker. So what you do next is you go up here and you select the color chart. That will bring up a color chart, and then you need to manually align this color chart with the color checker that you have. So yeah, you need to tweak this a little bit to get this inside the boxes. I'm still not there. And then I press match. Or first I want actually to create another node, so Alt S, and I do it in this node instead. Let's do that instead. Okay, close, something like that, and then press match. And you see here it's applied the color checker in the node, and you see the difference I have between the original classic color checker and my clone color checker. And you can see quite high deviation here, 33% deviation on this color up here. So what I would rather do with let's just delete this this node and remove the color checker. So what I would do with PerfectColor, it's quite easy. You go, for instance, you can start off with the edit, and then you bring up the snipping tool, and then I take a snip like this, and then I save this inside the documents folder, and under PerfectColor I overwrite this CC JPEG file. Yes. And now I have created the CC JPEG file. I could just start PerfectColor, choose to use the file CC.jpg and use the color checker clone for my setup. So if you're using the X-Rite Color Checker Classic, for instance, you would check this box. And if you have like the very cheap DKK, you would choose this one. I'll go with the clone. And then I select use the selected settings, and that will align the color checker markers with the color checker. And for this setup I get a loss of 8.9. That is how well the model of the colors are compared to the true colors that are stamped on the color checker. So 8.9 is not really good. So I could have retaken this video or used a different frame and aligned the color checker a little bit differently to get a better loss, so a lower loss. And then I just press enter to exit. Now I've generated the LUTs and they are inside Documents, PerfectColor. So here you can see this is the CC.jpg file it used as an input, and then it's generated two LUT files. It's generated the cube file and the PNG file shown here. In Davinci Resolve you use the cube file, which is a 3D cube LUT that you can use. So what I do within Davinci Resolve, to find these LUTs, you can go over to Color, and then up here you have the LUT manager, or what it's called. Under here you have many different types of pre-defined LUTs. So to find a new folder that you want to put your own LUTs in, like for the color corrector here, you could, for instance, press the right click on one of them and open file location. That will bring up the Explorer. And I could go down one folder and then generate my own. Here I've generated the Even, where I can put the cube LUTs. So I go on the Documents, PerfectColor and Documents PerfectColor folder, copy this cube file, and then paste it inside the LUT file for Davinci Resolve. And going back to Davinci Resolve and going into the folder with the same name that you've chosen, and right click, refresh, that will bring up the new LUT, which I call CC LUT. So just by hovering over it, it will apply this LUT to the picture, and I could apply this LUT in many different ways to the footage that you have. You have actually three different ways of applying it. So you can go to File, Project Settings, and then you could go to Color Management, and you could apply this for the whole video on the output or the input. So that's really not an option in my opinion. You would rather do it on a whole clip. So you could go on Media here, and then right click, and then use LUT, and then you could use the generated LUT. Or you could go do the same thing under Color, right click, LUT, and do the same thing. But what I find to be the best solution is to use a new node. So Alt S for a new node, and then you could either double click the LUT that you want to use. So double click this, and as you can see, it's applied the LUT to the node. And now you could actually just copy this node to all the other nodes. So you could go here, Control V. Let's see, I do it again. Control C, Control V, Control V. So now I applied LUTs, the corrected LUTs, to all of my test videos for all the frames. So if I play this back, you can see it's apply this to all of it. One final thing I would like to mention is that you could use the color correction that you've made with PerfectColor in combination with the different other types of effects and color grading. So for instance, let's say I want to use traditional color grading after I applied the color checker correction. I could just add a new node here, and then I could just use the traditional color grading. So some lift and some gain changes, and then they are applied to this new node afterwards. That's it. Thank you for watching how to use PerfectColor with DaVinci Resolve.